Be careful, Valentina, they're saying you're pretty confident, but here in MMA, I ain't the one that you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch. Or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did. But speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes? She beat you twice, and for this fight, she's teaching I'm the student, never truant. Cause I really wanna beat you, I'ma do it when I do. Please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different. This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war, these motherfucking chicks is vicious. And anything goes, I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, Jessica Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th. At UFC 231, you're gonna die, whore. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. It's not a threat, it's a warning. Be careful with me. Yeah, I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. Be careful with me. Shout out to the full-time family. Be careful with me. Yo, JJ can't be serious, she gotta be fucking joking. If Joanna thinks that she can fuck with me, she must be smoking that same crack rock that had Priscilla Cachoeira choking. Or maybe that pot that the Diaz brothers be toking with their homies. Either way though, man, this chick is fucking crazy. I'll do this hoe dirty, then get to dancing like Swayze. Then maybe she'll retire and go have her some babies. Or go to the WWE, anywhere she goes she can't fuck with me. Most of these hoes is ducking me, the only way you win is luckily. Bitch, I am the GOAT, and Pavel has a plan with you, we'll fucking see. And if you ain't know, they call me Miss Shevchenko, or Miss Come and Get Your Face Swole. And this the takeover, yeah. This the takeover, yeah. The wait is over. After the fight, you gon' need a makeover. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. They said, what? He added another verse? Damn, maybe I should be subscribed to UFC Yankovic. Ooh, salute to the full-time family, everybody in the building. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great day to be alive. How's everybody feeling? Hope you're all feeling and doing well, you guys. I am the full-time family. We had a successful night, a successful fight companion, and the full-time bankroll prevailed. We bet our $5 on Max Holloway, guys. Now we're at 10.25. Ballin'! No, but on a serious tip, salute to Dennis Espinoza, Mr. Perfect 2005. Everybody else that was in here at the start of the show, let me pull up the chat. Make sure to salute everybody else in the building. We got motherfucking Alan, Clark, Nicholas, Moss, Killer, Shamo. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I'm the one you got a problem with, so stop it, bitch. Or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did. Yo, that one was cold. Fuck what you talking about. Fuck the winner, fuck the loser, and all of the above and the politics. That verse was some heat. But yeah, we did have a Valentina Shevchenko verse as well. I just didn't like it sonically. Like, I don't like the lyrics as much. It's still really good, I think, but it's not my favorite, and being a little bit of a perfectionist and my own worst critic, it's like I kind of cringe when I hear the Valentina verse, but it's still good, but it's just not my favorite. But yeah, we had a Valentina verse the whole time. Okay, not the whole time. We added it later, but still, it's on UFC Yankovic. Make sure you check it out. Alright guys, let's talk about some UFC, man. We had fights over the weekend. We got fights coming up this weekend. You know, people tell me that, and I hear it, and maybe I agree sometimes, we need to shorten the amount of cards. Not when they're cards like this, man. I can watch Lee vs. Iaquinta 2, Holloway vs. Ortega. I mean, a lot of these fights, I can watch all of these every weekend. I'm down, like, in there. But with all the other promotions and stuff now, maybe it's a little much. I'll concede that. Alright. Alan Clark says, dude, I'm showing some of my friends some are jams, and they dig it, bro. Yo, that's super dope, man. UFC Yankovic in the building. Thank you, Alan Clark, for showing those to your friends, man. Much appreciated. All right, so we got about 30 minutes to an hour today before I got to get to work and do all of that jazz and make a living, right? So let's get into the fights that happened over the weekend, some current events in MMA. Then we'll close the show with our first look at Lee vs. Iaquinta 2. And I'll be out your motherfucking hair. MMA Addict in the building says the best is blessed. Oh, there's no doubts, ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. He had everything working against him. He had the fucking Drake curse. He had the Ken Flow prediction. And what did he do? He prevailed. Fucking Max Holloway, the GOAT blessed era. It's here. But still, guys, hindsight's 2020, but I predicted it as well. But come on, I was telling you guys, y'all must have forgot. This is one of the best featherweights in the world we're talking about here. Like, yeah, Brian Ortega's got a puncher's and a submissions chance, but Max Holloway's healthy, bro. This is his fight. It's like not even really, and we saw that, but it was still a great card. Max Holloway did his thing, but what I want to say is, boy, there's still a featherweight fight that Max Holloway's got to be ready for, and he was about to fight this guy in the past, but he got injured, and so Frankie Edgar stayed on the card when Max Holloway got injured. And the first time Frankie Edgar was injured, so Max Holloway had to fight Aldo on short notice. The second time, Holloway was injured, and so Frankie Edgar had to fight Brian Ortega on short notice. Brian Ortega creamed Frankie Edgar, stole his title shot. Now Max Holloway had to put the X on that kid. Now it might be back time to get to Frankie Edgar. And let me tell you about the Frankie Edgar Max Holloway history, just in case you're new to this, if you ain't true to this. Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar. You might think, how do they have a history? They'd never fought before. They were supposed to fight. Well, go back about 5-7 years ago when Frankie Edgar was the UFC's featherweight champion, and he was fighting BJ Penn. He fought BJ Penn multiple times, and I believe he beat BJ Penn 3 out of 3 fights. So he's up 3-0 on BJ Penn. And if you're really new to the game, you're like, who's BJ Penn? God damn, bro, you shouldn't even be on this stream. No, but seriously, BJ Penn was pretty much the Hawaiian MMA kingpin. When you think about Hawaiian MMA, BJ Penn came to your mind. Before Max Holloway, before Brad Tavares, before Louis Smolka, before Elimele McFarlane, it was BJ Penn. And Frankie Edgar beat BJ Penn 3 times. So now we got the new Hawaiian prodigy, blessed Max Holloway, and he might have to get some get back for his, I don't even know what they call him, his Uso, BJ Penn. He's got to get some get back on Frankie Edgar. Can he beat Frankie Edgar? Because just like you can say about the McGregor's of the world when they were coming up, or some of these other guys, honestly, has Max Holloway fought Chad Mendes yet? I don't think he's fought the best wrestlers of the division yet, so it's just tough. And I'm not doubting his skills. Anything can happen. Max Holloway's a fucking monster. But I'm just curious to see how it would work out when he does go against one of the best wrestlers in the featherweight division. Like, people gave Conor McGregor shit. Oh, he didn't have to fight Chad Mendes or Frankie Edgar, yada, yada, yada. Well, when he did fight Chad Mendes, we saw what happened. Now, Frankie Edgar was about to fight Max Holloway. They were booked to fight. They both have suffered injuries that forced that fight apart. So I still really want to see that fight, Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar. But over the weekend, man, Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega, it was a phenomenal fight for Max Holloway. Brian Ortega showed his heart. I mean, if you doubted a UFC fighter's heart at this point, at the championship level, that's on you. To make it to this point, really to be an MMA fighter, you got to have some sort of heart, unless you're really new to the game. But to just go through the training and the process of getting beat the fuck up for a living, you got some sort of heart, right? Like, there's a lot of people that don't have any combat experience going on in their life, and So, regardless, Brian Ortega showed massive heart in that performance. Never quit, never gave up, never threw in the white towel, never dove for a stupid-ass takedown so he can get choked out. Well, honestly, that might have been worse for Max Holloway. You don't want to be the jiu-jitsu ace that gets choked out. It's like, fuck it, man. Knock my shit out. You're not choking me out. That's my job. I'll choke you out. You don't choke me out. But either way, man, phenomenal performance from Max Holloway. He came in, looked great at the weigh-ins. People were speculating, questioning what was happening before his last fight. Was it a weight issue? Was it a concussion in practice? Dana White said Max Holloway's probably going to have to move up soon because of the weight-cutting issues. So just a lot of speculation with Max Holloway's health. But came in healthy, came in looking like blessed Max Holloway. Phenomenal performance, fight of the night, performance of the night, and it was a phenomenal performance. So let's move on to the co-main event. Much love to the GOAT, Max Holloway, blessed era, the greatest featherweight of all time. Of course, give your respects to Jose Aldo, who's up there. He's up there in consideration. They're both up there. And if you chose Jose Aldo, I wouldn't be mad at you. We could have a debate, a fun debate, but I completely get where you're coming from. Jose Aldo, Max Holloway just put himself in the conversation with Jose Aldo. It's Aldo and Holloway up there. Don't give me Conor McGregor. He's a really good fighter, but as far as the greatest of a division, I don't feel like he did enough clearing out the division to call him the greatest of a certain weight. You want to talk Conor McGregor's greatness? Let's talk pound for pound, because he's moving and grooving in different sports and different weight classes. But featherweights, I don't think he had the reign of a Jose Aldo, who he was able to beat Frankie Edgar and all of these other featherweights in the process, or Max Holloway, who went on an 11-12 fight winning streak, got the belt, defended it multiple times. Like, that's the shit I like. So, with that being said, let's move to the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Boy, did Joanna put up a fight. A lot of people expected Joanna to come in here and just get steamrolled, cleaned up. Valentina just to be the way superior fighter everywhere, the ground game, the stand-up. Joanna had something for her. Joanna did not roll over. She got up from each takedown attempt. If she was taken down, she got up. And she was controlling the center of the octagon for a little bit of the fight as well, like being the aggressor. She wasn't tucking her tail the whole fight on her back foot, circling out, trying to avoid her. She was actually coming forward, trying to fight. And she had a good performance. Did she win? No. But fucking Joanna still had a good performance for what was expected of her. Expectations weren't very high. She would have had to shock the world to win the belt. And with as motivated as Valentina Shevchenko was coming into this fight, there was just no way, man. When Valentina Shevchenko said, "I'm not leaving this city without the belt," I believed her. When Brian Ortega took her line and said, "I'm not leaving without the belt," I didn't believe him. Is that fucked up? I don't think so. But Valentina Shevchenko, bro, her time has been coming. This was long awaited. She fought at 135, beating the best of the bigger girls up there, like literally outstriking the best bantamweights, out-grappling the best bantamweight grapplers. Only lost to the bantamweight GOAT, Amanda Nunes. It's the only person in that fight was close. But down at 125, I'm sorry. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat Valentina Shevchenko as far as a female is concerned at 125-pound division. You want to talk about a super fight. Valentina versus Mighty Mouse. I'm just kidding. Joke. But there would be a referee and trained fighters. It wouldn't be like a domestic situation. They're not romantically involved, so it wouldn't be domestic violence. It would just be competition. But no, I'm just kidding. Another topic for another day. Valentina Shevchenko, new UFC female flyweight champion. Long time coming. After all the time she had to wait and go through. She fought Priscilla Cachoeira, then had to wait for like a whole year to figure out what was going on with Nico, not getting paid for that year. She probably could have just beat up some flyweight just for fun, right? Valentina could have just who wants to fight? Like Jessica I or Sarge Eubanks or somebody while we wait on this Nico shit. Like, she could have smashed one of those girls, but it was unnecessary. We knew the title shot was her. We knew, really, I feel like this flyweight division has been Valentina's division since they fucking announced it. This is her division. Let's see how long she can reign. She got her belt. Fucking great moment for Valentina Shevchenko. She's been waiting for that belt for a while with the whole Nico situation. Now she got to fight a legitimate flyweight title fight, and we'll see who her first offense is going to be up against. You got Jessica I just defeated Caitlin Chukagian. Other than that, Sarge Eubanks, but I think she talked about moving up to bantamweight. She's missed weight in a few flyweight fights, like, for short notice. I mean, Sarge Eubanks and Jessica I think, are the only two legit contenders that you could name as the next title challenger. Unless, of course, some champion versus champion super fight, like, right? But at this position, that wouldn't happen unless you wanted to go up and fight Nunes. Because, like, if Jessica Andrade was the 115-pound champion, we could see Andrade versus Shevchenko. Dude, that fight is so good to me. Like, Jessica Andrade, if she became the 115-pound champion versus Valentina Shevchenko, yeah, Valentina probably wins. Clearly, she's more technical, duh. But Jessica Andrade used to fight at bantamweight as well. Now, I think Valentina Shevchenko probably just had more success at bantamweight even. So, yeah, it might be Valentina's fight, but it would be a legit super fight. Honestly, man, I would love to see that fight. Andrade might be able to give Valentina a better fight than Joanna. Did Jessica Andrade beat Joanna on that night? No. Styles make fights, though. That just because Joanna beat Andrade does not mean Andrade loses to everybody that Joanna beats Joanna. That's not how MMA math works. And we know Jessica Andrade has the size to fight at bantamweight. Somehow she's cut into 115, so for sure she can fight at 125. So, like, that would be a super interesting idea, but Jessica Andrade would have to be the champion first, and Rose Namajunas is probably going to be out still for 2 or 3 more months, I think, while she heals up her neck and waits on Jessica Andrade to take a fight. No, I'm just kidding. But, Valentina Shevchenko, man, phenomenal performance. Congrats to her. Congrats to Max. And if you still keep up with the full-time family bankroll, the one that's over on Patreon, you know we had $3,000 bets on both of those, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of fake money for your boy, only if that shit was real. All right, Gunnar Nelson versus Cowboy Oliveira. Pretty interesting finish to that fight. Fucking just bloodbath. Alex Oliveira seemed to be in a good position until Gunnar Nelson landed that elbow over the top that just sliced Alex Oliveira open like a horror movie. And like Gunnar Nelson was in top position, and his blood, like his face was a little bloody. It was like dripping a little bit. Like, oh shit, look, his blood's dripping on Alex Cowboy Oliveira. That's pretty interesting. But then he landed that fucking Curtis Blades elbow over the top, and it just required 27 stitches, instant bloodbath. But I mean, before the stoppage, he got the choke. But yeah, it was over for Alex Cowboy Oliveira from there. Like, Gunnar Nelson just sliced. It was one of them elbows that lets you know. Like, that's probably why elbows are not allowed in PFL, because there's no way you're getting in one of those fights and then fighting again on the same night. But still, just epic finish. Like, it was crazy, bro, because Alex Oliveira, he wasn't bleeding at all. Eats the elbow. 2 seconds later, his whole shit is red. He's wearing a blood mask in like 2 fucking seconds, bro. That shit was wild. Hakeem Dawodu versus Kyle Bochniak. Kyle Bochniak didn't come to game as much as he did against Zabit. I don't know if it's because he was respecting Hakeem Dawodu's power a little more or what, but Hakeem Dawodu, phenomenal performance, won the decision. It was unanimous. Kyle Bochniak didn't have near as much for Hakeem as he did for Zabit. And maybe it's just because there was so much hype around Zabit, he wanted, to put on a fight. But either way, big win for Hakeem. Thiago Santos versus Jimmy Manuwa, 2nd round, KO, TKO. I mean, I told you guys, leading up to the fight, I'm more confident in predicting a knockout than I am predicting the winner of this fight. I mean, these guys came out swinging from the very beginning, and I couldn't believe they were still standing by the end of the 1st round. Either one of them. They were both just trading fucking leather, haymakers, light heavyweights just fucking throwing bombs, strikers, nobody. Like, great fight. Thiago Santos in the 2nd round connected with, and actually got the finish with Jimmy Manuwa, but yeah, those guys for sure came to fucking game. So, awesome pay-per-view, awesome night of fights. I don't think anything really stuck out on the prelims. Nina Ansaroff beat Claudia Gadelha. How fucking wild is that? No one expected that, man. No one expected that, I don't think, because Nina Ansaroff, number 11th ranked strawweight in the world. Claudia Gadelha ranked in the top 5 for like the last couple years. She's top 3 right now. I did say the chance I give Amanda Nunes as Nina Ansaroff is, for one, she fucking scissors with Amanda Nunes every night. I'm just kidding. No, for one, she trains with Amanda Nunes and legit UFC champions every day over at American Top Team, like one of the greatest fight camps on the fucking planet. She's over there with Joanna, Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes, and just fucking killers training. She can't do anything but get exponentially better. Nina Ansaroff can't do anything but get way better. Like, whatever you've seen in her last fights is never going to be Nina Ansaroff. And what you just seen versus Claudia Gadelha, she's going to get better. Same thing with fucking Kayla Harrison. She's getting exponentially better every day that she trains with the American Top Team. She's not just going to fucking Michigan Fight Team or fucking Colorado fucking fight school. Now, Colorado's got some good schools like Elevation Fight Team, but I'm saying she's not just going to some fucking local gym in Mississippi and fucking training with her good friends. She's going to train with world champions on a daily basis, day in, day out, world champions, and being motivated and trained by those people. Just exponential growth when that happens. You're not training with scrubs, you're training with better people. Like iron sharpens iron, you're training with the sharpest fucking iron out there at American Top Team. So Nina Ansaroff, Kayla Harrison, expect all these people just to get way better than you expected. So good sign for me as a Kayla Harrison fan. All right. OAM versus Gilbert Burns. Oh shit, Gilbert Burns got the dubski over OAM. 2 losses in a row for the Canadian gangster in Canada. That's not good. I thought he won for some reason. Jessica I defeated Caitlin Chukagi, and Elias Theodorou defeated Eric Anders. We had some good fights. Early prelims, who was there? Brad Katona, Matthew Lopez. I didn't catch the early prelims. All right, guys, let's get to the news. Let's get to the news, the current events, and the chat. Yosa L says, TJ can't handle that, bruh. Dennis Espinoza in the building says, TJ too small. Max does not lose that much as far as speed to him. Jonathan Stevens said, who would you take on that? What about TJ Dillashaw versus Max Holloway at 145? I actually like that fight. I mean, the fact that TJ's cutting down to 125 and Max Holloway is like almost being forced up to 155 seems like there'd be a significant size. I don't know how significant. I mean, pretty significant. A noticeable size difference in those guys. But I mean, size doesn't always mean everything. Oh shit, that'd be a tough one, bro. Because of course, it'd be hard to take Max Holloway down, but TJ Dillashaw's got takedowns that are just really next level. You'll hear like lifelong wrestlers, like Chael Sonnen and other people, like look at TJ Dillashaw's wrestling and say, I've never seen that done. Like the little move he just did where he ducked and then he went to his left leg, I've never seen that takedown. Like Chael Sonnen, you know how long he's been wrestling. And he was like, I literally had to call up TJ Dillashaw after I seen that move and ask him how he did that. Like, I've never seen that move. Like, that's how advanced TJ Dillashaw is. Great wrestling and great everything. So, don't count TJ Dillashaw all the way out too quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Because the wrestling, honestly, just Max Holloway, he'll probably pass that test when he gets there. He'll probably pass the test. But we just haven't seen it all the way like a world-class wrestler. You know what I'm saying? We just haven't seen that all the way yet. But I'm sure Max could pass the test. I'm just saying don't count TJ all the way out. Be a really good fight, though. Who do you think will win, Chad or Volkanovski, says Killer Shimmo? Ooh. Is that officially booked? Volkanovski's been looking great, man. But Chad Mendes, too. That's just a really good fight. Fuck, bro. Yeah, I like that fight a lot. Hard for me to call. I mean, just off the top of my head, I'm slightly giving the edge to Chad Mendes. But I would have really, like, before I made an official prediction, I had to look into it a little more, like Volkanovski's record and stuff. But yeah, maybe Mendes, just because I know what he's capable of. Volkanovski's been looking phenomenal, but I just, I'm not all the way there yet. So let's get to the current events in MMA, guys. Joe Rogan's making his pick for Conor McGregor's next opponent. And if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, or if you just watch MMA for one, you know about some of the potential options, of course. There's Nate Diaz, a potential next fight for Conor McGregor. You got to think about it now. McGregor's no longer the champion. He doesn't have the lightweight or the featherweight belt. He's on a losing streak. He lost to Floyd Mayweather, which doesn't count. But, of course, he lost to Khabib. So you don't want to lose again, like just be Conor McGregor walking around just fucking picking up L's. So there's a few possibilities. And in my mind, I would like to see it be a winnable fight. I'm not saying an easy fight, but a winnable fight to get back on track. Nate Diaz, there's Dustin Poirier now, who's the top lightweight contender. There's Tony Ferguson, of course, the top lightweight contender. There's talks of a Khabib rematch. I'm not super there. I'm not dying for that. Or anything else Conor wants to do. As always, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Go box, do whatever. But as far as MMA is concerned, who do you guys want to see Conor McGregor in the fight next? When it comes to UFC podcasting, commentating extraordinaire Joe Rogan, he says, that's the big money fight. If I was a promoter, I'd be calling Nate and saying, what do we have to do? Give him what he wants. Give him a lot of money. He said, how good did Cowboy look against Mike Perry? That is a new Cowboy Cerrone. He looked different. He looked smooth, like a goddamn executioner. That's the fight I would make. I would make that fight. It's a fucking exciting fight. Also a big sell. You can sell the shit out of that. Big fight. Let's see. Sounds like he's saying Diaz versus McGregor 3, potentially. I mean, that's what I was calling for, honestly, right after the fight. I mean, but of course, there's a couple other options, right? There's Dustin Poirier, who for sure deserves it when you're talking about from an MMA fight fan perspective. Now, we got to be real. And I know people don't like talking about the business or what makes sense because we're fight fans and it doesn't help us out what if Conor makes the best move for him. But realistically, Conor McGregor's probably not going to be fighting just some contender. It's probably going to be, yeah, he doesn't have to fight for a title next because he just lost his belt. But it's going to be at least a big fight like a Nate Diaz, right? Like, that's the fight we all want to see. We all been wanting to see McGregor versus Diaz 3. Now, us hardcore fans, would we like to see McGregor versus Poirier? Clearly, fireworks. I would love to see that. It's a rematch. Conor already won it once. It's a lightweight. Fuck yeah, sign me up all day. Poirier, McGregor. But is it going to sell the most pay-per-views? Is it got the story, the rivalry? They don't really have a history except for Conor already beat him once. So I don't think it sells as well. And so maybe that's why Conor doesn't just fight some random contender when he has options like fighting for a title or at any weight class. I mean, Conor could go up if he wanted to. Call the UFC and say, set me up a fight versus Woodley. I'm sure they would do it. If he wanted to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not fighting nobody but Khabib. Even if I lose, I'll take the chance. They might do it. But I would like to see Conor versus Nate Diaz 3. They're both lightweight contenders. They're both, they've got the history, the rivalry. It's the third fight. Nate Diaz feels like he won both fights. Officially, it's 1-1. I love that fight. It's a good time for it. Perfect timing. So I would love to see that fight as well, but there's a lot of options. Now, originally I thought I was going to see more people talking about McGregor versus Poirier because Poirier definitely has earned his shot. If you think about Dustin Poirier, who's also in the lightweight division, what he's went through, like, this division's been log jammed, so he's just had to fucking just go through this murderer's row, but he's been almost surprisingly successful. And when I say surprisingly, it's not like I counted him out, but he's been going through some hammers, Dustin Poirier. He's been going through, he had to fight Eddie Alvarez. First one was a no contest, so no real result. Didn't get the immediate rematch. Had to wait for Alvarez to go do tough with Gaethje. Then they fought, so he lost his Alvarez fight to Gaethje. Gaethje loses to Alvarez, so now he's got to fight the loser of that fight. He fights Gaethje, beats Gaethje, then he's got to fight Pettis. Then he finally gets the Eddie Alvarez rematch, and it's like, goddamn, he's fighting top 5 guys through this whole. He's a guy that looks like he's gonna have to fight number 4, then number 3, then number 2, and then get a title shot. Ain't no skipping for Dustin Poirier, so for sure he deserves it. But with that lightweight picture, Khabib's the champion now. Not only are Khabib and Conor potentially suspended right now, we got Ramadan coming up at the beginning of the year, which is one of the things about Khabib as a fighter, let alone a champion. As a fighter, come on, Khabib, We can't fight at the beginning of every year, dog. You got some fighters like a Bilal Muhammad and others who literally fight through Ramadan. Some of these guys fight through it. They like don't eat at all in the daytime, and they eat at most at night, and then they do their training. Like Bilal Muhammad has fought through Ramadan and looked amazing. And now we got a UFC champion who's that's just the division's been stalled with McGregor. Now we got Khabib. So when you're someone like a Dustin Poirier, what the fuck are you really gonna do? What are you really gonna do? Just keep beating up the top ranked guys in the world, and each time you're risking that title shot. Every time. He almost is kind of in a similar situation to Andrade, I feel like. He's having to clear out the division and he's not getting paid like a champion for it. Like all of these fights Dustin Poirier have been fighting are legit champion fights. The difference is neither one of them are holding the belt, but any given night those guys could be UFC champions. Whether you're talking about Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, all of those belt aside are title fights. All of those guys are skilled enough and have put in enough work to fight for a UFC title. So the only difference is when they fight, it's not technically for a title. So of course they're not getting championship pay. But if Dustin Poirier was the champion, these are the guys he would be defending his belt against. You know what I'm saying? Same with Jessica Andrade. If she was the champion, I mean, let's say she's getting paid $50,000 now, and she would get paid $100,000 if she was the champion. Well, for each one of these fights, she's making 50 G's. Where if she was the champion, I would be defending my title, making 100 for every one of these fights. So it sucks to be somebody in a logged jam division when you've earned your title shot. It's like, gotta keep taking these fights. But then when you become the champion, you've already cleared out the division, so you don't have as many fights left. Like, just unfortunate situation for some of the top contenders. But hey, that is what it is. It's a business. The champions move how they move. Sometimes they take a little time off. Once people get the belt, they go on the world tour. They like to make sure they keep the belt for the holidays. Good luck if you're getting a title fight. Yeah, I mean, good luck to get a fight with an American fighter in the next fucking month. You're lucky you're getting Amanda Nunes in there, honestly. The only reason that's probably happening is because it's right after Christmas, because all these damn champions, especially the American, you want to when you go celebrate Thanksgiving, it's the holiday season, Christmas, you're taking your family photos with your whole little, we're all seeing each other. You want the UFC belt in those pictures. And I'm actually serious about this. I talk about people wanting to take pictures with the belt. I'm actually serious. You don't think people would want to hold on to the belt a little longer? Like, oh, my whole family's coming in town. Like, we're 5 weeks away from Christmas. I think I gotta heal up my knee. Like, I'll fight in January, but no. They're not losing their belt around the holidays. Come on. So with that being said, just shit happens. Sometimes it's hard to get title shots, injuries, fucking vacation, breaks, politics. It's hard to get title shots in the UFC. So when you do get one, you gotta fucking seize it and snatch it and own it. You only get one shot. Wise man once said. Marshall motherfucking Mathers. No, so yeah, let's continue. Joe Rogan made his pick for Conor McGregor's next fight. Speaking of Conor McGregor's next fight, John Kavanagh, Conor McGregor's coach, said he would have to be convinced to work with Conor McGregor again. And he's talking about, like, his next fight. Like, honestly, this shit is wild to me. Like, this motherfucker is low-key crazy for this. And that's just me. Just like, what? This dude's acting like Conor's walking around slurring his words. And, like, what his point is he's saying is, we're in the fight game. These hits and these hits to the head, they wear on your future. So he's kind of, like, looking out for Conor McGregor. Like, I'm only going to corner him if he's fighting, a really good fight. But if it's just to fight, I'm not with that. He doesn't want Conor just to fight, and just take damage to fight. He don't want him to fight the Poiriers and the Fergusons for nothing. But he did say, but if it's Khabib or if it's Nate Diaz, I might be in. It's like, I'm almost questioning it at this point. Like, are you in it for the money? So what are you saying? You only want to see Conor McGregor fight money fights? I kind of get it. You're because it sets him up for life. What he's saying as a coach, I kind of get it, man. You're looking out for one of your good friends. Bro, you're rich. Why are you still taking damage? Why are you still risking CTE? What are you doing? You're rich. You don't need to do this anymore. You got proper 12. What are you doing? Why are you banging your head into a wall? You did all that to get here. Now you're here. Let's not throw it all away by getting our fucking head cracked multiple times repeatedly. So I get that. You're looking out for Conor McGregor. But it's like, in my mind, it's like you're acting like there's actual fighters that might be like slurring their words right now. Conor's not one. He seems, maybe you're trying to stop it before it gets to that point. Okay. Well, it just kind of sucks as a fan. You're like, what? Like, so what? So what are you saying? Like, we're not gonna see McGregor fight anybody except for like a Diaz or Khabib? Well, if it was up to the coach, that would be the case. Now, I kind of already thought that might be it, but I didn't think his coach would take the stand. This is what he had to say. Well, he certainly would have to convince me to go again. I love the whole journey we've had, but I need a good why. It might be Nate Diaz because he promised that fight. It might be a rematch with Khabib. Can I get the why on that one? But if it was just, well, hey, they want me to fight that guy, I think I'd say, I wish you the best. You gonna turn your fucking back on McGregor? What, I guess for the greater good? Do you think fucking Conor McGregor, whether Artem or Kavanagh, you think he would ask a question? Oh, you guys are about to go fight? I'm with you. It's not no fucking, well, Artem, I don't really think you're going to be able to beat Michael Johnson, so how about I just don't corner you? What? You got my back in war? Do you got my back in this thing or no? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you my matchmaker? Like, bro, if I want to fight, are you with me or are you against me? So I don't think I would even corner. I wish you the best. So what you're saying is if Conor was willing to accept a fight with Poirier, you would make him go into battle alone? With just some random corner because you don't like the fight? All right, Conor, I know you want to fight Poirier, but I don't like that fight for you, so I wish you the best. Bro, that don't sound like loyalty, and maybe it's a fault. Maybe it's because he's really looking out for him, but you can't tell me you're going to let fucking Conor McGregor go do battle by his motherfucking self. You know, go to war by himself. Get the fuck out of here. That don't sound cool. But hey, I kind of get where he's coming from the sense you're trying to protect one of your good friends before he starts slurring his words. You know, it's one thing if you see someone like a Justin Gaethje, a Nate Diaz, or a Darren Elkins. Like, we can name guys who are like, okay, bro, you probably shouldn't take damage your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably should pull back a little bit. But Conor's not there yet. So, interesting to see Kavanagh would, have to be convinced. Unless it was a big money fight, it seems. Like, Nate Diaz, okay, he promised him that fight. Khabib, he didn't say why, but we all know. Probably a huge payday also. Fucking get your belt back, right? All right. Moving on, John Kavanagh said he would have to be convinced to work with McGregor again. Still staying on the lightweight division, though. Dustin Poirier, frustrated with the UFC lightweight uncertainty, calls for a Tony Ferguson fight. And we just covered this, we just covered this, guys. We can skip past this. I literally was just talking about the shitty situation Dustin Poirier's in. The lightweight uncertainty. It's got to be how Jessica Andrade's feeling like, what the fuck is going on? I've earned my title shot. What are we doing? But it's a little different. Rose is injured. Here, Dustin Poirier literally just doesn't know what's going on. Khabib's not injured. Is he suspended? He's like half suspended. What's going on next? Is Ramadan next? Am I getting a title shot? Is someone going to fucking come up from another division? I mean, am I going to get my Nate Diaz fight back? What's going on with McGregor? Like, Dustin Poirier is kind of in limbo right now. And we already touched on this, so I'm not going to rehash it. But, I mean, he's in a logjam division, and he's fighting the best fighters in the world, not getting paid like a title fight, just fighting the top. He's fighting the number 5 ranked guy, then the number 4 ranked guy, then the number 3 ranked guy. And some people get to fucking fight the number 6th ranked guy, then the number 12th ranked guy. Skip the whole top 5 and get a title shot. So that is where Dustin Poirier is at right now. A little frustrated with the UFC. You can understand why. But he's like, fuck it, man. And you got to respect Dustin Poirier, bro, because all this bullshit going on, he could be a diva, a prima donna. Fucking, I'm waiting until I get a title fight. He's like, you know what? Fuck it, give me Tony Ferguson. Like, yeah, this is all some bullshit. All this is some bullshit. I should be fighting for the title. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I tell you what, in the meantime, in between time, let me fight El Kukui. You gotta like that. You gotta like that from Dustin Poirier. Where's my fucking... I might have to go blow my nose, you guys, because my fucking allergies are killing me. But with that being said, here's what Dustin Poirier said on the screen, and I'll read it. 1 second. Ah, much better, much better, much better, guys. That was long overdue. All right. So, he said, I just want clarity on what's next for me. I know some of this stuff is out of the UFC's hands, you know, with injuries, of course, and stuff like that. He said, I'm not blaming the UFC, but just the whole picture. Let's get this shit going. I'm sick of this. I want to fight Tony, and if it's not Tony, good for Tony. His ass more than earned his shot at Khabib. He's definitely next in line for the world championship. He's ahead of me. I agree. But if that's not going to happen, then let's let the two best guys who are available go at it, or let me and Conor go at it. Hell yeah, bro. Poirier versus Ferguson, Poirier versus McGregor. No one's going to complain about either one of those fights. It's a fun fight for the fans and for both of our careers. And it makes sense, but I don't know what makes sense in this fucking company anymore. He said, I've worked not only my UFC career, but my whole life to be a world champion. This is going to be my 40th fight this next one. I'm closer than ever, and here we are getting held up and messed around with all kinds of shit like this. The UFC needs to stop playing around. I hear you, Dustin Poirier. Touche to that. Let's move on, though. Staying with the lightweight division, Kevin Lee feels like it's his personal duty to put Iaquinta back on the prelims. He joined the MMA Hour, spoke with Luke Thomas, and talked about his upcoming fight at UFC Milwaukee against Iaquinta. This is a rematch to a fight. Iaquinta won the first fight. But Iaquinta in a few of his fights earlier in his career, you know, the judges definitely were on his side. And maybe it's because they fell in love, no hetero. You know, like when you're watching a Brian Ortega fight or something, no hetero. But either way, specifically the Masvidal fight, you know, being a big fan of Masvidal, when I went back and watched the Iaquinta versus Masvidal fight, I was with the crowd. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was booing at home like the crowd was booing. But either way, you know, that's neither here nor there. This is going to be a great rematch, end of the year, last big Fox card, UFC on Fox 31. Kevin Lee says, I just feel like a completely different animal. And by the way, guys, let me tell you about fucking Kevin Lee, because there might be people that don't like him, maybe because they think he's a loudmouth, cringy, trash talk, whatever reason you have. There's sure, I give you that. You might not like him. I do. Big fan. The fighting style, the trash talk, it's not all the way there, I guess. I mean, but who's perfect? You can't be a perfect fighter and a perfect trash talker. That's really hard. That's very and extremely rare. I don't know if there's ever been a perfect fighter and perfect trash talker. Any fighter you can point out that is a perfect trash talker has a hole in their game, I'm sure, somewhere. You know, some guys are working on well-rounding out their game. Some guys are working on their trash talk. No, but I'm just saying, bro. As far as fighting is concerned, Kevin Lee, phenomenal. Honestly, when I look at Kevin Lee, and people don't like Kevin Lee, so they might not agree with this, I see the future of MMA. And what I mean when I say that is I say well-rounded fighter. Does he have a hole in his game? Maybe, sure, like we talked about. A lot of people who are good at trash talking kind of do, but his hole would be what? It's not one of his skill sets. It might be, you might say, his chin. Maybe, because we've seen him rocked. But anyone can get rocked when you get fucking spinning heel kicked in the head by Edson Barboza. He was able to recover. But okay, I'll give you that. But when you watch his fights, and I went back on Fight Pass when I could afford that shit, I went back and watched all of his fights in the UFC. He uses his striking, and I'm telling you, it's a theme repeated in his fights. You see this. You watch 4 or 5 Kevin Lee fights in a row, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He uses his striking to set up his wrestling, to set up his jiu-jitsu, and you can't ask for more from an MMA fighter. What are the main bases in MMA? Striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Those 3, striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, wrestling, submissions. You use your striking to set up your takedown to get you to where you need to be to get the fucking submission. And he does it phenomenally. Say what you want about his style, his glasses he wears, the trash talk, the fighting is there for Kevin Lee. I'm really looking forward to his. I mean, it's gonna be hard for me to pick Iaquinta against this guy. I don't even think I can. Like, for sure, I'm not. I'm for sure taking Kevin Lee. But I know there's people that don't like Kevin Lee, but I'll tell you, don't let his personality deter you from his fighting skills, because if you're a fan of MMA, this kid is legit. Now, with that being said, and what I mean by striking to wrestling to jiu-jitsu is he'll use his striking, and when you are defending, when you got your hands up, well-timed takedown, because he's a phenomenal wrestler. Well-timed, you'll go to throw a strike and he's under you. You're on your back. And he's just so fucking efficient with his transition to taking somebody's back and locking in that body triangle. Kevin Lee's phenomenal about doing that. And when he's got the body triangle, he softens you up until he gets that choke. Like, bro is legit. Kevin Lee says, I feel like I'm a completely different fighter from that 2014 fight. And I think anybody who watches that and then goes and watches me in recent years, you can just tell I'm a different me from that. That was the first time I made a big jump up. I was fighting in front of country bars. I didn't come from another organization like a Bellator or a 1FC or whatever. I went from fighting like in front of 500 people at the Prudential Center. To be honest, I was really the first tough guy that I fought. Everybody before then, they didn't give me much challenge. So it was a big learning experience for me at the time. It was the toughest fight, but I've had 12 fights since then at all at a higher level. I fought much tougher guys, and you're just learning. And you learn through that experience. And yeah, maybe my striking defense has gotten a whole lot better, but my offense has got a whole lot better too. So that's what he's going to see on Saturday. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that offense I'm going to put on him. He continued to say it was really just me and Dizzy just doing it. I didn't really have many training partners at all talking about the first fight. I was still in college at the time when they gave me that fight. And since then, as soon as that fight was over, I knew I had to make some changes and really start to train like a professional. And that's when he did, bro. He like moved to Vegas, started training with a legit fight team. Kevin Lee made that change, moved all the way out of Motown to Vegas to get a legit fight team. And that's how you know someone's taking it serious. Oh, shit. $2 in the super chat from Fights with Friends says, call now, talk Lee versus Al and Chandler versus Primus. Yo, let's do that on Thursday, Fights with Friends. I gotta go to work today. I've only got like 20 more minutes for the show, so I'm gonna power through these. Hey. I'm living my best life. Hey. Alright, oh, my bad. Thank you for that $2 in the super chat, man. Big bank, no whammies. Fights with Friends. Make sure you guys go check out Fights with Friends. Yes, make sure you check out his YouTube channel. Weezing336 says, I think Barboza would have to beat Al. Would have beat Al? That'd be another good fight, Weezing336. Honestly, I would like that. But Fights with Friends, thanks again for the 2 in the super chat. Good, sir. So yeah, man, Kevin Lee, Iaquinta, I can't fucking wait for this fight. I honestly can't even believe it's coming up this weekend. Like, seems like a few months ago, I was like, fuck, that's gonna be a good fight, but it's in December. Now here we are in December. Holy shit, it's next weekend. Sounds good, man. You are getting better all the time, sir. Yo, I appreciate that, Fights with Friends. Dennis Espinosa says, Santa Cyborg is coming to town. She knows what Nunes has been naughty. She knows that Nunes does stink. She knows how to KO, so you better stay off that crank. Yo, Dennis Espinosa with the heat. Yo, that was a good one. You better stay off that crank. All right, guys. Moving on. All right, so yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to Lee versus Iaquinta. Hey, people might not be a fan of Kevin Lee. I'll take that L. I'm a Kevin Lee fan. Let's go. Khabib Nurmagomedov NSAC hearing delayed until New Year. Well, New Year's like a month away, so I'm just showing you guys this just because it's really nothing until New Year. We kind of knew this was coming for Khabib and Conor. They're suspended for a shorter period of time. We still want to know what's going on with Khabib's money, but it's being delayed. Of course, if you've ever been to court and shit like that, it gets delayed a lot. Postponed, and it's happening here. Khabib Nurmagomedov NSAC hearing delayed until New Year, so New Year will have another update on how much of is the fine gonna be potentially. How long is the suspension gonna be? I mean, well, fuck. I mean, honestly, dude, with all these delays, we're not gonna see Khabib fighting guys until mid next year.
all these delays for sure are going to like push us into Ramadan. But well, actually, you know what I could see happening, guys? I could see Khabib getting suspended. Like, listen, his hearing is in fucking New Year, right? It's at New Year. I could see him getting a 6-month suspension. It's going to be probably like concurrent, like time served. So what it's going to do, in my mind, is that's actually not good for Khabib, clearly, because you don't want to be suspended. But what I'm saying is, even if he only got suspended for 2 months, well, he's taking the next 4 months off anyway, or 3 months, or however long Ramadan is. So, like, if he gets like a 6-month suspension, like some people have talked about, if it goes like time served, that would bring him back around April, May. So, honestly, if you're Khabib, bro, your hands are kind of clean. You really don't give a shit about the suspension. We know Khabib doesn't care about the money. He's like, oh, you guys are going to suspend me for Ramadan? I don't fight then anyway. Like, you're not hurting him. I just now thought about that. Like, oh, you're going to suspend me for Ramadan? Good thing I don't fight then anyway. That's like getting fucking suspended for school for Christmas break. It's like, oh, I gotta fucking serve my suspension over Christmas break? Okay. But either way, I'll keep you guys updated on that whole situation when we hear more. Jon Jones blasting a former MMA journalist who was recently found guilty of fucking child pornography. I don't know this guy. I don't know anybody in the fucking MMA media like that, because I'm just some fucking stupid YouTuber. And, you know, maybe I'm not super interested in getting in the journalist game. I really am not super interested in that. Fuck, man. I'm really not super interested in being in the media, honestly. I really ain't. I'm really not. But either way, here you go. I've talked about this, though, on the channel. Like, we've talked a lot recently about like domestic violence situations, and people just, as soon as you hear the word domestic violence, right? Oh, you motherfucking evil bastard! Put him under the jail. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. For one, we don't know all the details, and for two, you guys are acting like this motherfucker is a fucking child predator or some shit. Come to find out, there's actually a motherfucker in the MMA media who's been finger pointing. And he just got found busted for fucking child porn. So his whole shit got busted. MMA fucking managers, fighters, they're eating this shit up. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being Jon Jones and there's just some fucking dipshit in the MMA media? This guy's on steroid. He fucking wrecked into a pregnant lady. Like, we all say that, right? Pregnant lady, but honestly, do you think Jon Jones hit that car knowing there was a pregnant lady inside? Or do you think he got in an accident and was trying to avoid like a DUI or something and trying to evade the scene? Once you find out the girl's pregnant, clearly it makes it worse, the sound of it. Oh my God, he wrecked into a pregnant lady and didn't even stop and check on the baby. Like, was he supposed to have a stethoscope in the trunk? Oh, are you okay? You're pregnant? Like, oh, let me make sure the baby's breathing before I take the fuck off. No. 3 months ago, I was at a fucking gas station. Little light fender bender, boom. Nigga, I ain't got insurance. You know how quick I peeled out of there? Hit the block, whip, 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 whip. I'm out of there in the neighborhood, dude. I ain't got no fucking time to sit around and get a no insurance ticket, lose my fucking license over a fender bender that did no damage to neither one of our cars. Now, was there a pregnant chick in there? I don't think so. It looked like an old fucking man. But what if that was, and not an old man like senior citizen, I'm talking like some old crackhead looking motherfucker. His car was as beat up as mine. He looks like he's still working. Not a senior citizen. But you get the point. Whether it's an old man, a pregnant lady, people, oh my God, you didn't even stop and check on them? I don't know who's in the car, bro. I'm trying to save my own ass here. I'm not thinking about what if there's a fucking... I'm trying to save my own ass, dog. So, could you imagine people berating you, calling you a steroid, calling you a cheater, taking away from your legacy, calling you a cokehead, calling you a fucking pregnant woman, whatever, hitter, and then the motherfucker gets flagged for child porn? Bro, this is like a cop arresting you for having a bag of weed in your pocket, And then you find out this motherfucker's like selling crack. You fucking piece of shit. And honestly, that's another reason I always say, what the fuck do you people get on your high horse for? And point the finger and make everybody else out to be fucking evil. Like everybody's fucking don't have skeletons in their closet. Yeah, you might not have ever hit a woman, me either, but you probably know somebody that's went through bullshit. And so to sit here and say, oh my God, I don't care about the details. If you've ever put your hands on a woman, even if you were just lightly pushing her hand away from your face after she slapped you and called you a fucking worst word you can think of, you shouldn't even have put your finger on her hand and pushed it. Like, you evil bastards. You, man, that's why I don't even get into that shit, bro. Because I know people, and if you just put them in a vacuum and looked at how their life plays out, you'd fucking look at them like pieces of shit, and that's not who they are. It's not. They might have had an addiction or something to put them in the situation they're in now, and now they're trying to get out, and they're fucking confused and lost in the situation, but they're not an evil piece of shit just because you don't agree with something that they do. And that's the case with fucking Jon Jones and these domestic violence situations. Like, to just hang them out because they made one fucking mistake, you better have no fucking skeletons in your closet. Because this motherfucker, I don't even know his name. I've seen it, but I don't know if it's Lane or Ian. Because I don't know if it's an I or an L. Something kid. And oh my God, dude, I seen Twitter going crazy. Oh, you guys want to have some fun? It's probably too soon because I don't even like talking about this shit. But this guy's name is like Lane Kid. And I don't know if that's an I. I think it's capital. Is it Ian Kid? I don't know. It's kind of like fucking Iaquinta. It always confuses me. Like the I, is it an L? Is it an I? Sometimes I's and L's confuse me in names. Is this Lane Kid or is this Ian Kid? I don't know. Either way. The joke was on Twitter, someone was like, look, his name is like Ian Kid. Oh my God. You guys got to stop with the jokes. This is not a joking matter. They said his name had kid in it. Like, you can't make this shit up. His name's like, it has I and kid. But yeah, man, good to Jon Jones for fucking plastering this shit. He said, one of my biggest critics, Bloody Elbow reporter, Lane Ian, I don't know, piece of shit kid, was just busted having possession of over 1,000 images and videos of child pornography. As a father to only daughters, I absolutely hate people like this, and I try not to hate anyone. Lucky he doesn't live in my city. Man, that was real close to a threat, but I hear where he's coming from. This piece of fucking shit has been coming after me, and he's a child molester, and I've got daughters. Oh, I'll fuck this guy up in a heartbeat. You know how Jon Jones is feeling? Like, when he says he's lucky he doesn't live in my city, I think he means that. Could you imagine this motherfucker in an octagon with Jon Jones just for one round? Just because, like, that should be part of his punishment. Not his whole punishment, clearly. He should get more. But that should be part of his punishment. It should be to be in a fucking octagon with Jon Jones for one round. Michael Chiesa says, Ian, I really think that's an I because you capitalize the first letter of a name. Everyone's capitalizing kid, so why would they not capitalize this? I'm pretty sure that's an I. Because even Jon Jones, see, like he put capital K, why would you not capital the L? So I think his name is not Lane. I think it's like, I wouldn't know now. I-A-I-N, kind of sounds like Ian, but there might be one too many I's. I really don't know. Kid. This motherfucker's last name is Kid, bro. That's wild. Ian Kidd, what a scumbag you are. This guy condemns fighters through his journalism, yet he was found guilty of collecting and filming child pornography over a 12-year span, including acts of bestiality. These are the worst types of people that exist today. He just looks like a dirty motherfucker that probably fucked a couple chickens, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, like, you know what I'm saying? He might have fucked a couple roosters. I don't know. He looks like a dirty motherfucker. Just fucking wild, man. Like, I'm glad Jon Jones, like, because from what I've been seeing, like, I think it was Jon Jones' manager retweeted this too. He was like, isn't this the same guy that was, like, bashing Jon Jones? Get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, now his shit's getting fucking blasted out there. I'm him says he looks creepy as hell. I agree, man. But we got about 10, 15 more minutes before we end the show. A couple of chickens. I got a farm for him, says Yazael. Bro, I'm tired of these niggas steady saying, bro, if I don't give it to him, somebody else will. Niggas really convince themselves to keep pushing cancer out there. If I don't give it to him, someone else will. Uh-oh, what are we talking about? Supposedly the dude lives across from a daycare to this day, says given sure name. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I would imagine people are on his motherfucking head now. I didn't even know that, but that's crazy. You shouldn't even be allowed to live by a daycare. Well, maybe since he just got busted, he'll be forced to move or something, but that is actually wild. Leon Dubson says he does, but does not look like a child molester, though, in my opinion. More shady crook, but at this point, I guess you never can. To get the fuck out of here. I mean, maybe I'm tripping. He definitely looks like a chicken or a kid fucker. He's fucking kids or he's fucking chickens. Or he's watching it. Maybe he's not actually doing one, but he's watching that shit happen. I mean, hey, who knows? He doesn't look like... I don't look at him and say, oh, fucking, that guy's innocent of everything. Like, you know, when you look at Sage Northcutt or Wonder Boy, you're like, okay, that guy's not fucking chickens or watching child porn. This guy, I don't know. You really can't tell. Jose L. Because moles don't always look like moles, bruh. Dude looks 100% like a molester, says fight with friends. Yeah, he did. He looks like something. I don't know exactly what a molester looks like, but he looks like something. He definitely looks like something. Yo, let's move on, man. Ben Askren calls out hypocrite Kamaru Usman for avoiding him in favor of Colby Covington. Let's talk about this welterweight. Let's motherfucking talk about it. This welterweight title debacle. Duck, goose is going on in the welterweight division, guys. Who's the goose? I think the goose is Kamaru. These other motherfuckers are ducking. Yeah. The champion, Tyron Woodley. The interim / not interim champion, Colby Covington. And then the new signee, Ben Askren. Ben Askren, he's on fire. He's calling everybody out. He doesn't seem to be ducking no fades. Hasn't been as interested in the Usman fight, but honestly, he's already got a fight lined up, so this is interesting. Now, as far as being willing to fight Usman, I think Ben Askren is the closest I've seen. He's like one of the only people like who's entertained it. I mean, you know, if Woodley was asked, he's like, yeah, Usman's, you know, he definitely deserves a title shot once I beat up Colby and shit, like, but no one's dying to fight Usman. And with that being said, not just Usman. You had Woodley had to fight Till because Covington needed nasal surgery, I believe. I think he had a nasal surgery, sinus surgery, something. Colby had sinus issues, couldn't fight Woodley. Woodley said, get some Zyrtec. You can't fight, guess I gotta fight Till. So, Woodley beats Till, and now we hear it's hard to get Woodley to fight fucking Covington at this point because he's like, I just fought Till. And if you look at the Kamaru Usman performance over the weekend, he was pretty dominant. And so now if you're the champion Tyron Woodley, and we've seen champions do this in the past, you might think, do I want to fuck up Colby and have to fight Kamaru? Or, this is where the strategy comes in, technically I just fought Darren Till and I won. So technically, I could sit out and not be stripped. Because you can't strip me, I just fought. I literally just fought, so I can't be stripped for a few months. So if you're Woodley, who's got another job now, Woodley's grinding, bro. He's grinding. TMZ, Champ Camp, mixtape, rap career. Like, he's doing a lot of shit. It might be cringy to you, but he's working. And I appreciate that, you know, being productive. You always got to salute somebody being productive. So, with that being said, Woodley could sit out and say, Usman and Covington, you're both the number one contenders. Instead of having to go through both of you motherfuckers, y'all fight each other. No hetero. Because that looked like bumping dicks. That's why I said no hetero. Y'all fight each other. And then I only got to fight one of y'all. I mean, clearly, let's say Covington fought Usman. Yeah, Usman could work his way back up. But the way things go, if they fought, there's a chance that he doesn't have to fight both of them. If Usman beats Covington, then he only has to fight Usman because Covington might have to fight Till. He might go to the WWE. He could lose a fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not a guarantee. But at this rate, if you're Tyron Woodley, you fight Covington, and then we all know Usman's next. Now, if you throw a fucking monkey wrench in the game and say, actually, my shoulder's still hurt, now they got to fight each other. And you just fought, so you can't get stripped. So there's so much going on. Is Covington, it seemed like Covington was ducking Woodley. Then it seemed like Woodley was ducking Covington. Now it seems like they're all ducking motherfucking Usman. And then you got Ben Askren, who's up here fighting fucking Robbie Lawler. So he's in the title picture now. A lot of stuff going on in this welterweight title picture. And Ben Askren's actually one of the people calling out Kamaru Usman now. I'll say this. It sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't one of those normal call-outs for me from Ben Askren where he's super confident and he actually wants smoke because he's got a great chance of winning. This is one of those, I've already got a fight booked. I know you're trying to get a title shot. I'm kind of safe if I call you out. You know what I'm saying? Safe. It's one of those, like, I know I'm not getting the fight. Let me call this person out. We've seen that. When Khabib, Shevchenko with Khabib needed a short notice opponent. Oh, yeah, I offered to fight him on short notice. I did. Last Dana, I offered. Yeah, but you knew you weren't getting the fight. Oh, I offered to fight Shevchenko short notice, 3 days. What? You need an opponent? I got you. It sounds good. Like, I'm sure. It just didn't happen. So, yeah, it sounds good to call out Kamaru Usman right now, but you're booked in a fight, right? Ben Askren's fighting Lawler, and we know Usman's trying to fight for the title. So right now would be a good time to call out Kamaru, even if you really don't want no smoke. Because you're probably not going to get... Do you think the UFC is going to cancel Askren versus Lawler to put together Askren versus Usman? I don't think so. It's a possibility, and if so, then Ben Askren might have bit off from a pretty big stick. No hetero. A little more than he can chew. I don't know. It's still to be seen what Ben Askren's going to bring to the UFC. But that smoke with Usman is not something I would advise for any welterweights. I think this guy could legit be the welterweight champion next year. Like, legit. After this shit plays out, once he gets a title fight, this guy is dangerous, man. No matter who it's going to be against. And I would love to see it be against Covington because, boy, he wants to put his hands on Colby. He said he would rather fucking fight Colby than fight for the belt. I would rather, he said, I gotta bless that dude with these hands. I gotta see that one, man. We got one more news topic to talk about before we look over Iaquinta versus Lee. Just look over the fight card. Tyron Woodley refuting Dana White's claim that he doesn't want to fight. I don't make money if I don't fight. So here we go, still sticking with the welterweight title debacle. He said, I agreed to fight Colby. I agreed to fight really anybody. That's the funny part. I just asked for a little bit more time before I can confirm my hand is good to go. I never said no to January 26th. Let's get that on record. I actually want to fight in Anaheim. Interesting. He said, I stepped up for the UFC many times. But at one point, you need to start monitoring your legacy, monitoring your title run, monitoring the way you want to be remembered. I don't want to be remembered as a guy that lost a fight to Colby Covington or anybody else because he knew he wasn't 100% or he wasn't given a chance to at least go through a physician that performed the surgery on his hand and get his clearance. That sounds very reasonable. I mean, a lot of the times with Tyron Woodley, it does sound reasonable, but I'm sure someone already in the chat has said, stop complaining. Maybe they haven't because you guys are cool, but you get the point. Yeah, if I had surgery on my hand, I might want to go to the doctor that did surgery and get clearance before I start throwing it at people. Like, I didn't say I won't fight. I just said, can I get clearance on my hand first? That's it. But if you're the UFC, you can kind of see, the writing on the wall. Oh, shit, here he goes. Talking about his hand injury. Oh, shit. So, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, I'm honestly, at this point, fine with... I mean, I really want to see Woodley versus Covington, but honestly, I really want to see Usman versus Covington. And I really want to see Usman versus Woodley. So, I'm really fine no matter how this plays out. It'll just be interesting to see. But yeah, man, that's the welterweight title debacle show we got coming. I mean, this weekend we have UFC Milwaukee coming up. Excuse me. to Fight Night or UFC on Fox 31. I believe it's the last UFC on Fox. They're going out with a bang as they move to ESPN next year, so that could be the case. Let's just take a brief look at the main card. We'll talk about this more for sure on Friday's show and Thursday's potentially even. So yeah, Thursday we'll try and do a panel. Thursday we'll try and get the panel in. That way everybody can speak. Fights with friends, forward, anybody else. We'll try and get a panel going. All right, here's the fight card coming up this weekend. Kevin Lee versus Iaquinta. This is a rematch. I got Kevin Lee, man, and I'm not wavering. It's kind of how I was with Max Holloway. Like, yeah, man, if he's healthy, I just don't see many ways for Brian Ortega to win this fight. But like, his chances if Max is like not healthy. Now, there's a path to victory here for Iaquinta. I think he'll probably have to knock Kevin Lee out, but that's a possibility. He could knock Kevin Lee out, but I don't think it's going to happen. Co-main event, Edson Barboza, Dan Hooker. Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't even know that was the co-main event for this. Holy shit. Damn, that's a good fight. I didn't even know that was here, bro. This is going to be a great lightweight fight. Dan Hooker's been knocking motherfuckers out. Edson Barboza's been on the top end of the UFC's lightweight top 5, you know what I'm saying, for a while now. Been losing a couple fights here and there. Maybe a little on the decline as Dan Hooker's coming up. So it's going to be a really good fight to see if Dan Hooker can pass this test. But this is another one where I'm pretty comfortable predicting a knockout, honestly. I mean, this is probably someone's going to sleep in this fight, Barboza versus Hooker. I'll tell you that much. I don't know who it's going to be, though, at all. Can't wait. Rob Font, Sergio Pettis. Okay, the Pettis brothers didn't have the best day at UFC 229 when both Pettis brothers lost. Sergio, of course, lost to Formiga, and Anthony Pettis lost to Tony Ferguson. But fighting in front of his home crowd against the top 11 ranked flyweight in the world, or is he moving up to bantamweight? I actually think he's moving up to bantamweight for this fight. Because I'm pretty sure Rob Font's a bantamweight. Yeah, they're moving up to 135 for this fight. Yeah. So, you know, the UFC's getting rid of the flyweight division, so they probably gave him the ultimatum. Hey, Sergio, we like you a lot. You're Anthony's brother. We like him a lot. But we're closing your division. Would you rather go up to bantamweight? What do you think about moving to Asia? You know, one championship. Let me try this bantamweight out. Apologize, guys. Fucking allergies are murdering me today. All right. So, with that being said, we got Rob Font, Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis coming up to bantamweight. I mean, I liked Pettis in this fight, like if it was at flyweight, but boy, I don't know how he's going to do moving up a division. Some guys look good, but sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you're in your division for a reason. So I'm looking forward to this fight, see how Sergio Pettis does at bantamweight in front of his home crowd, but Rob Font's dangerous. That's a fact. So, one more fight on the card to talk about. Yeah, it's cutting it close. About perfect timing. There we go. Jim Miller, Charles Oliveira. Okay, last fight on the main card. Jim Miller, Charles Oliveira. That'll be a good fight. See what Jim Miller's can do against Du Bronx. Du Bronx, very talented fighter, a lot of UFC experience. Same with Jim Miller. I mean, Jim Miller, he's just a fighter. He's just a fucking fighter. It's that simple, bro. If he could do, or not could, if he wanted to do something else, he would be doing something else. Because, you know, he's had setbacks in his career. Is he going to be winning a UFC belt in his career? Probably not. He's doing this because it's what he loves to do. I think he battled like Lyme disease. I think he got like bit by a tick or something, and that really put it kind of like sucks the energy out of his body. Like he's not like all the way 100%. So really, when Jim Miller's fighting, he's doing it because he loves to do it. You know, that's just what he is, a fighter. But I mean, still, I'm always a little skeptical. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at him like to win this fight and go on a run. For sure, he can win it. Legit UFC experience, legit UFC veteran. But you know what I'm saying? It will be a tough fight because Charles Du Bronx Oliveira is legitimately one of the best featherweights out there. But is he moving up to 155? If so, maybe it helps Jim Miller out a little bit, you know, because he is normally a featherweight. Jim Miller's normally a lightweight. So we'll see where this fight takes place. I believe it'll be at lightweight because I don't see Jim Miller cutting down to 145. But it's going to be another good scrap. I don't know who's on the prelims. I don't even know if those are out yet. But that's pretty much all I got for the show today, guys. And that leaves me about 30 minutes before I have to leave for work. So I'm going to give some shout outs, like play a song. Just because, yeah, they didn't even know about that Valentina verse. Hey, let's give the shout outs first. And then we'll play the song. All right. In the building. Still, my motherfucking dog, James Irvin. Dennis Espinoza in the building. Dennis Espinoza, Trey Young. MMA Addict, Benji. Trey Young, London Calling. Cool the Fool says, I hear that, Leon. You can tell the difference all the time now that they are gone. Fights with Friends says, Fertitas will watch UFC failing, buy it back for half of what they sold it for. Oh, wouldn't that be just insanely epic? That would be crazy. All right, guys. So, yeah, man, that's really the end. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back Thursday, of course, and Friday, I believe. I think we'll probably do, what, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, it seems. But Thursday's supposed to be on Patreon. I still got to get a live show in for the Patreon family. I'm still working on the schedule with this new work schedule and stuff, but I appreciate everybody for coming to the live stream and chilling with your boy before work, talking some MMA and everything else. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Let's play a little MMA tunes over at UFC Yankovic, and then we'll be out your hair. Make sure you subscribe to UFC Yankovic if you haven't.
Be careful, Valentina, they're saying you're pretty confident, but here in MMA I ain't the one that you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch, or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did. But speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes? She beat you twice, and for this fight she's teaching I'm the student, never truant, cause I really wanna beat you, I'ma do it when I do. Please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different. This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war. These motherfucking chicks is vicious, and anything goes. I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, Jessica Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th. At UFC 231, you're gonna die, whore. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. It's not a threat, it's a warning. Be careful with me. Yeah, I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. Be careful with me. Shout out to the full-time family. Be careful with me.
There's that verse that y'all didn't know about. The secret verse. The hidden verse. Let's go.
Yo, JJ can't be serious, she gotta be fucking joking. If Joanna thinks that she can fuck with me, she must be smoking that same crack rock that had Priscilla Cachoeira choking. Or maybe that pot that the Diaz brothers be toking with their homies. Either way though, man, this chick is fucking crazy. I'll do this hoe dirty, then get to dancing like Swayze. Then maybe she'll retire and go have her some babies, or go to the WWE. Anywhere she goes, she can't fuck with me. Most of these hoes is ducking me. The only way you win is luckily. Bitch, I am the GOAT, and Pavo has a plan with you, we'll fucking see. And if you ain't know, they call me Miss Shevchenko, or Miss Come and Get Your Face Swole. And this the takeover. Yeah, this the takeover. Yeah, the wait is over. After the fight, you gon' need a makeover.